As the calendar turns to September, the United States of America braces for an intense showdown in the 2024 presidential election.
We choose something different.
The race has officially entered a critical stretch, with Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump set to face off at the first presidential debate in less than a week. In short, voting will officially begin this week in America. The first ballots go out in North Carolina, a critical Sunbelt swing state. Then in about 2 weeks, in-person voting will begin in 3 states: Minnesota, South Dakota, and Virginia. Now, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump will be watching a few states more closely than others. These are called the swing states or the battleground states. These are the states where the race is expected to be the closest, with candidates of both the Democratic and Republican parties having very similar levels of support. To put it simply, only these states are likely to decide the next president of the United States.
Whoever I vote for, I want them to respect me.
Us little people are the people. You shove us out, and what have you got?
Once we've seen our bodily autonomy go, what comes next?
America can do better.
Up until now, experts have named 7 swing states in the 2024 election race, which hold the key to the White House: Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. In American elections, it doesn't matter if you have the most votes overall. It all depends on electoral votes. When Americans go to polls, they won't technically be voting for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. They will be voting for members of the Electoral College. Each of the 50 states has a certain number of electoral members based on the state's population. This year, there are 538 electors. The winner needs 270 electoral votes for a simple majority. Now, in most states, the candidate who wins the popular vote gets the support of all the electors. This means the winner gets all the electoral votes, even if the margin is very close. It also means that a president may win the popular vote, but still lose the presidency. 5 American presidents were declared winners despite losing the popular vote. This is the current allocation of electoral votes for 2024 and 2028. And this is the Electoral College of the swing states. Most of these states have historically been unpredictable, swinging from one party to another: red, blue. The presidential candidates will be focusing on these states instead of their nationwide campaign. Let's take the first one, Arizona, the Grand Canyon state, which borders Mexico for hundreds of miles. Arizona will be a focal point for this year's election, especially with the fiery immigration debate. In 2020, Arizona narrowly pushed Joe Biden to victory. Georgia. Trump faces one of his 4 criminal cases in this state, and a third of Georgia's population is African American, one of the country's largest proportions of black residents. It is also believed that this demographic was instrumental in Biden winning in 2020. Michigan. Now, this Great Lakes state has picked the winning presidential candidate in the last 2 elections. Despite backing Biden in 2020, it is symbolic of a nationwide protest against America's support for Israel in its war on Gaza. Nevada. The Silver State has the highest unemployment rate at 5.1% and shows signs of flipping red despite voting blue for the last several elections. North Carolina is by far the key state to win for both Harris and Trump. Although Trump carried North Carolina in 2020, Kamala Harris's entry has tightened the race to a toss-up. Pennsylvania, the Keystone State where Donald Trump survived an assassination attempt. It was pivotal in 2020 for Biden, but this year the state is struggling with rising prices and food insecurity. Lastly, Wisconsin, a key decider in both 2016 and 2020. It had sizable support for Kennedy Jr., and Trump has described the state as really important. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris formally accepted her nomination in this city. So get ready for an intense showdown in the 2024 US presidential election. And of course, keep a close eye on these 7 states, the deciders, when America decides.